think you're muted.
Hello, my name is Artit, and today I'm going to represent the revolutionary Ego blockchain. So, Ego blockchain is a decentralized storage and 5G wireless network that is leveraging the AI technology. I use the name Ego blockchain because it's very easy to be remembered, the name Ego, and also blockchain because blockchain is our major tool that is going to be to function this system and is most important thing. I know most of people they don't have a clear understanding what is blockchain, but blockchain essentially is just, for example, to build trust between two people that they don't know each other, or for example, there are different contexts and want to work with each other with the same rules and with the same trustness. So, what is one of the biggest problems that we are solving? One of it is that with closed services, because we are going like to try to give more, for example, people to give more option with data, and it's going to be with decentralized services. And with cloud services, there are big problems because with privacy, they sell our data to the third parties. Also because with privacy that most of them they don't do with encryption or decryption of the data, and also the security. So the security is very low. They get all the time they get hacked, and also for example they need a lot of expertise and a lot of, for example, resources to build, for example, to make a cloud point more secure and more, for example, uh, more, for example, trustworthy for people. Also, for example, they are centralized, which means, for example, they can all the time like change, for example, they routes, or for example, do updates and so on. Also, for example, with high cost, I knew a lot of people or also, for example, like young startups, they want like to operate with AVS and so on, but it's very hard for them because the prices are very high. And here's the explanation how, for example, we work, and I will give you only a few details about it because this is the technical part and it needs more minutes to explain it, but I will give it in short terms. So essentially, we will create the keys that will be generated, and also what we are doing different here from other blockchain, we are using quantum resistant algorithm, which means that also the quantum computer that are going to be generated, they are not, for example, going to be able to break or private key and also or for example public key. And this I would mention how we are going to also to use the AI. We are going to use the AI because AI is going to be as a supervisor of the system, because we have a decentralized service, and also there are a lot of companies that they do decentralized services, but they have human beings that are, for example, are like a supervisor of the system, and in my opinion, that is not, for example, that is not decentralized at the point. And now with AI, and also, for example, using API from all the companies for example, with AI, we can use a supervisor of the system. And in this, for example, this system is going to be more efficient and also more security and more decentralized. So the solution, as I mentioned, what we are going to present is more security, because we use like the devices we will build, and the devices are going to be spread all across the world. And in this time, for example, it's much for example, is the hackers, they can't like break the system, because the servers are like are microservices and are spread all across the world, and no one, for example, can break that because they also use the blockchain infrastructure. So the privacy, also the decentralized, so no one has control about it. P2P, which means that no third parties, and P2P, which means that the client can communicate directly with the for example, with the provider, with the server provider. Scalability, which means that we want, for example, the services, and also it's much simple to scale to another, for example, another system. Speed, because we use 5G, and with 5G the speed is much higher, and also more. As I did a research, with 5G is more secure than using the 5G with the encryption, and also with decryption. Fast recovery, because we have the servers that are going to be with master and slave, and also, for example, the data is going to be replicated to another service, which means that even one device get hacked, the data is replicated to another service, and this means that the data can be, for example, can be like uh, can be stolen or anything like that. Here's, for example, how the 5G is going to be operated, so everyone can use it. For example, can have it in their home, in their building, or also, for example, in their car. And it's much simple, for example, to use it as it is, for example, to with other services like, or also, for example, to mine with other cryptocurrencies.
Artit, I ask you just last question, last sentence, sorry.
Okay, so we have, for example, this is also B2C and also B2B, which means that we have packages for individuals and also for businesses. And yeah, this is going, for example, we have the business plan also individual. So it's going to be, for example, for every company and every individual that wants, for example, to store data, same as they use, for example, iCloud or Google Drive or anything.
Perfect. Thank you
Yeah,
so
compatible,
much.
yeah. Also, for example, his team.
Yeah, I'm really sorry, just to provide fairness to everyone. If I would just give the opportunity to the jury to ask the questions.
The project is very complicated. That's why it's very hard for someone 5 minutes to explain all this, because it has technologies with blockchain, also with 5G, and also with AI. And yeah, it's very hard, like to represent in 5 minutes. But
definitely,
this is essentially what we are working and or for example, our system.
Yeah, Ingo, I see that you have a question.
Well, Alfred, let's move completely away from technology. Let's take that as a black box for a moment. But what is really the market? I mean, or let's talk about competition. I mean, do you want to compete with the Dropboxes of this world, or what? Why does the world need your approach?
Yeah, so we are solving two major, for example, problem that is also with cryptocurrencies and also with data. So with cryptocurrencies, we are going to create with no fees that are going to be to transfer the data also, and also we are solving like no fees. We are giving high interest rates, and also, so as I mentioned here, staking bonuses, and also with the data we are giving, because here I didn't have time to represent, because the data in 3 years they are going to be duplicated. So right now, for example, they are like 64.2% zettabytes, but in 3 years the data is going to be duplicated. So it means the world is going to need more services, and also is going to need like
well, that's too general for me. Just tell me who your customers will be. I mean, will it be private people or will it be companies?
Yeah, as I mentioned here, we have like two packages. So it's going to be for companies and also for individuals that want to, for example, to share the data, and also want to use, for example, decentralized server for fair prices, and also more, for example, security via encryption and also decryption. So it's going to be, yeah, with different packages.
Lucas?
And my question in direction, I mean, you're planning now to launch it as your own company. Have you evaluated by yourself to launch it as a DAO yourself or as an open source project? And why, or would it make sense maybe to go in that direction, or why didn't you choose such a model like that?
So yeah, we are going to be open source, and also we are function with DAO, which means, for example, that the revenues are going to be all the DAO, or for example, the smart contract, when we have, for example, investors in the board, and the DAO, and also, for example, when we want to do like updates or we want to scale to another level, then we are going to operate with DAO voting, and through the voting we will do, for example, to update the system and so on. So it's going to be open source and also with DAO functionality.
Ah, okay, understood. Didn't get that point, but I think makes definitely sense.
Yeah, thank you.
Good. Then thank you very much, Artit. And looking at the time, I will then move to the next one. We have here Maximilian Roth from Folif.